So one of the things I really love to do at the end of every year is to like pause and actually reflect on how far we've come. It's really easy to get caught in the grind of just crank it more and more and more features out and kind of forget how far we've come from there. So put together a little year in review. Let me get this up and running. And let's take a minute to reflect and celebrate. All right, so let's take a look at DataHub 2021 in review. So in this year, we've had 97 total people contribute to the open source project. That ranged over 1,300, almost 1,400 commits, with nearly 1 million lines added and 500,000 lines deleted. I personally always love the deletions. Those feel really good when you go through them. And one thing I really love about looking at this kind of like timeline of contributions is that we see really steady contribution rates throughout the year, but also a steady increase in the number of contributors. So I'm just super excited that we have such a thriving and lively group and that we're rocking and rolling super steady. So digging into the contributors a little bit more. Acryl Data, for those of you who aren't aware, Acryl Data actually was started January 1st of 2021. So this is the first year of Acryl. And so we see a lot of the kind of core contributions coming from the Acryl team as maintainers, but also a fantastic set of humans that are contributing as well. So huge shout out to these folks. One thing I will call, so we have, on the right side is kind of the open source contributions. One thing I will call out here is, so Treffles is Tomasz, then we have Pedro and Asim. And as of December 7th, I think, all three of those folks are officially on the Acryl team. So not only are they contributing to the open source project, but we're also just sourcing some really talented developers to keep this moving forward. So along with Aditya, we're just super thrilled to have 3 amazing engineers joining the Acryl team and just huge, huge, huge excitement there. So looking at some of what we built in 2021, and this is truly only some of what we built. Keep that in mind. Q1 was a full rewrite of the front end. So the initial application was in Ember, not a really widely adopted language. So we rewrote it in React to make it easier for people to contribute to. You'll see on the right side here, these are some of the kind of initial screens that we had. So the landing page was just this kind of like browse, search, very basic. Our dataset page is very kind of like tabular. The lineage page was just kind of this like node to node with no real additional information there. So keep those in mind as we go through and see some of the other features as a point of reference. From the developer experience side, we also rolled out a Python-based ingestion framework, which is, again, just making it easier for people to contribute to the code. Integration support, I won't call out all of these, but just like within the first few months of the year, we're already supporting a ton of the core kind of like modern data tool sets, or tool tech stack sets. I don't know what you know what I'm saying. All right, moving along to Q2. This is where we start to see a lot of really great improvements to our UI, UX. So we have a brand new lineage visualization. So we're not looking little node to node. We now have like a rich experience here. We also started, based off of community feedback, started enhancing how much you could actually interact or manage from the UI. So added in editable field descriptions, dataset descriptions, and then also giving kind of an observability metric of popularity scores. So a point of reference of how relevant is this data set within my organization. We also rolled out YAML-based glossary terms on the kind of backend side, or the dev experience side of things. And that was like a big step for us in having kind of like a managed data governance offering and a code-based data governance offering. And again, in the realm of making it easier for developers to interact here, we introduced no-code metadata and also a simplified deployment to minimize that tech stack footprint. This is also a huge month for the BI realm of things, or kind of the analytics engineering integration support. So looking at DBT, Superset, Looker, all three of those are just huge within that stack. And we've made a ton of really great progress from there. Rolling into Q3, this is where we started to see some UI redesign, so refreshing the look and feel of our pages. Also rolling out dataset profiling. So for a given table, how many rows were populated on a day-over-day basis, or on a columnar level? What was the distribution of those values? So helping data practitioners really understand the shape of those data sets. From the developer experience standpoint, rolling out our GraphQL, and then also user and group provisioning and role-based access. So really starting to build out these core components of data governance. And then on the integration side, this is when we rolled out Feast and SageMaker. So now starting to support machine learning, right? So we're taking a lot of steps really rapidly. And then last but not least, we get to Q4. This is on the UI and UX side of things, was really focused on helping users get into DataHub and make the most of the metadata quickly, and not having to do too much kind of digging around. So we overhauled our search experience, rolled out landing page recommendations to really just surface the metadata that matters most. And then on the backend side, again, in the theme of making it easier for developers, rolling out our no-code UI, automatic dataset lineage extraction, and our stateful ingestion and stale metadata. Last but not least, on the integration side, we now support M1, so kind of navigated that surprise, and then continuing to roll out additional support with Mode and NiFi and all these other great integrations that folks are looking for. So, like I said, this is only a subset of what we did, but I would like to think that we came a very far way in a very short amount of time. And I just really want to congratulate and thank all of you guys. Thank you.